Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Art 196, Introduction to Designing Web Graphics for the spring semester 2022. This morning, I plan on introducing Mobirise. It's a software that allows you to easily create websites and web pages using drag and drop features. But at the same time, you design the page locally and then you have to upload it using a variety of techniques. So it's important that we get, that's my segue into getting lesson 7 corrected and make sure that it works for you. So my guess is for some of you, let me show you what I've seen on some pages. Yeah, this is what I'm seeing on some pages. Okay, that have been turned in. So what this is telling me right here is that the link to your images, the link to the style sheets are broken as well. And that's, we have two sets of style sheets. We have one for the Bootstrap, which governs the appearance and function of the nav bar. And we also have our local style sheet that overrides it to make it, pretty, so to speak. Okay, so if this is what you're seeing, this is what I recommend that you do. Okay, my guess is that the Bootstrap CSS here and the green style CSS are linked to, or at least they were linked to a page outside of your local root folder, maybe from root, the lesson 6. It's quite possible. If you have corrected it and you still have the problem, then there is another way for us to try to fix it. So let's start by working with this one. The first thing that you need to do is I'm going to go to Site, Manage Sites, and then this is the one that I had for spring of 2021. I'm going to use it for spring 2022 because it hasn't changed. And I'm going to click on the little folder here. And I want to make sure that when I look in the Dreamweaver lessons, I want to go inside. I want to make sure that it's linked to lesson 7 because that's what I've been working on. Okay, so I select choose. Then under advanced settings, I select local info, and this is where we link to our image folder. So once again, I click on the little folder icon and it takes me to an image folder. And if you just click OK, this could be an image folder on lesson 6 and lesson 5, but you don't know. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to go back again to all these lessons. I'm going to select lesson 7, double click on it, and I'm going to find that image folder and I'm going to select choose and save and done. And I'm going to save everything. Okay, so I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go back to save all. So that's been updated. Then the next thing that you need to do, even if it looks like it's reading correctly here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Bootstrap CSS and I'm going to remove it. See, this is why your website is looking the way it is, like that. The next step is to remove the green styles. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Now that's why, now the images aren't showing up. So what I need to do is reconnect them. And it doesn't matter what order you do it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a Bootstrap. So I'm going to click the plus here. And I don't want to create a new CSS. I want to attach an existing CSS. Okay. And that's going to ask me to browse. Now, hopefully what it should do is it should take me to lesson 7. Okay, so I'm going to double click on lesson 7. And inside the CSS folder is where the Bootstrap CSS is. I'm going to click open. Click OK. And it's attached. Notice that fixes the basic structure. We have our nav bar again. We have our header. We have our main row with the left and the right side and the article in the middle, and we have our footer at the bottom. But now we need to style it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add green styles that we created in our lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and hit plus, attach existing CSS file, hit the browse button, go inside lesson 7 again. And what I want to do is select green styles. Okay, and click open. And that fixes them both. Now, once again, go ahead and say save all. And now what you want to do is we're going to go to our host. Okay, so this is infinity free. I have 2 accounts. You should have at this stage 1. When we complete the Mobirise website, you should have 2 as I do. So what I want to do is I want to manage this one here. It takes me to our control panel, our file manager. And all I want to do now, I mean, we can use FTP to upload it directly from Dreamweaver, but I think there's an easier way by using their cPanel. So what I want to do is I want to click File Manager. And you'll notice that we see here is a folder with htdocs. We have htaccess, and we have an override, and then we have another file that says, do not upload files here. And that's exactly right. You don't put your files here, you put them inside the htdocs folder. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to select open it. And you can see I have the CSS folder. This one contains the Bootstrap CSS. I have a fonts folder. I have an image folder, and I have a JavaScript folder. And then I have the green styles file, and I have index.html. Remember that you need to save this file back here. You know, it should be as an index.html file. That's the one that you want to upload. The index.html is the one that they provide as a placeholder. This can be deleted, and files should be uploaded here, can be deleted, but I would leave them alone. They don't hurt anything. Now, if you've already made those changes, go back here, select this folder, and right-click on it, and I would delete it. Do that for these 4 folders, the green style CSS and the index.html. Right-click on each one and delete them all. So you're going back to a clean slate again, and then proceed to upload them once again. And you do that down here in the lower left-hand corner where you're able to put files. This is the get files if you want to download them onto your computer, but we want to put them from here. So you can click and drag, or you can click here and you can upload individual files or the folders. So it doesn't matter which you start with. I would probably start with the folders and just say upload folder. And then you're going to go back to lesson 7 and you start with the CSS folder, go to the image folder, the fonts folder, and the JavaScript. Upload each of those, okay? Then come back and upload again and upload files. And now it will allow you to see individual files as well as folders. What we want is the green styles CSS, and we want the index.html. Those should be the 2 files that you need to upload. Then go back to your go back to your browser, and or actually what we can do, we can go back here. We can just come back and go backwards a couple of steps. Hold on here. Oh, come on. Let me just go back here. There we go. I'm just going to go back to this page, and then right down here where it says Art 196 for the fall 2021, I'm going to click here, and this is what it should look like. If it doesn't, go ahead and click the refresh button and see if that can clear any cache that might be, the old files might be residing on your computer. And after clicking refresh a couple of times, if that doesn't work, then there's something else that's going on. Are you guys trying that? Or yes, no? That should fix the problem. Because I see the mobile, okay, you're having issues with the mobile view. Where would that coding be located? If you have deleted it, then you have other issues that we need to resolve later. Because that would be, let me move this out of the way. It's located in the nav bar. So let me just look at the code view for the time being. And let's scroll down. So there's the close of the head. Here's the opening of the body. Here's our container. Here's class row, and here's the nav bar. Okay. It goes from here where it says div class row. It goes from there all the way down to close nav, close here. So it goes from row 21 on my computer all the way down to row 44. So what you have possibly removed is the information from here, the nav bar header, where it says type button, nav bar collapsed. Let's see. Okay. So you might want to look at the start file or the finished file, and you can take those and copy and paste them inside yours. So, so Paula, your images are showing up, but the Bootstrap isn't working. Is that correct? Well, you know what? Let's I know that this might be boring for some of you, but you're going to run into this later. So what I'm going to do, Paula, is I'm going to elevate you to panelist, and I want you to share your screen. Okay. Can you do that? So let me come here. Let's go to Paula. And I'm going to promote you to panelist. Then what I want to do here is under participants. Where is it here? Let me go ahead and stop sharing for a moment. And then over here where it says share, I'm going to go ahead and say all panelists. So you should be able to share now. So go ahead and share your screen and let me see what's going on. Oh, because you're using another device to work on. Okay. Well, let's try to deal with it after class then, okay? Because without seeing your screen, it's hard for me to tell what's going on. Okay. Well, let me go back again and let's go participants again. Let me share my screen again. And let's see, participants. And panelists. And Paula, I'm going to go ahead and change you back to attendee. There we go. We just have my head here. So, you know, if it's working for the rest of you, it's easy to get goofed up. And that's sadly, one of the challenging parts of web design that you generally don't have in print. It's really easy to get goofed up, really easy. Okay. So next step, we're going to move on to Mobirise. So where you need to go for our next assignment is mobirise.com. This is what it looks like. And you can download a free version for Windows or Mac. And that's what we're going to use. You will have a limited number of templates from which to choose. They have a variety of templates that are available to purchase, you know, for different purposes. You know, if you want to make one for a law office or a restaurant or, you know, a menu or all sorts of templates to choose from, but they cost. So this is a test. We're just going to use their freebie one. Okay, so the first start is you need to download it. And it's easy to put into, you know, to install on your computer. And this is basically what it looks like. Okay, so what you're going to do, and this is the website that I made for our class. It's a one-page website. And it allows you at the top. Let's just start at the top over to the left. We can, what you're going to do is to create an account. Okay. And so what you need to do is to set it up with your email. And then what you need to do is we can go ahead here and we can create new sites. The extensions down here are the ones that I say that will cost. You can see some are, if you get the whole package, it's $150. If you want to get one for any number of these, like I say, that are for cryptocurrency, if you sell jewelry, on and on and on. But actually, if you plan on using this program a lot, and that's what we're going to do today, is kind of test it to see if you like it. And we're going to do a small website on it. It's $150, and that's really not a bad price. Okay. And then if you need help, it's here, because there are no tutorials for this. It's basically a, what can I say? It's a, you know, kind of a hunt and peck and search and figure it out for yourself approach to designing websites. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to sites, and I'm going to create a new one for this class. Okay, so it shows you what, if I close this, the very top, it shows you what the website will look like on a large screen, on a horizontal tablet, on a vertical tablet, and on a phone. So it gives you those options as to what, you know, everything is going to look like. It already takes care of our media query, which is really kind of nice. Okay, so let's start by creating a new site here. So I'm going to go to Site, Manage Sites. And I want to create a brand new one. Okay. So this one is going to be, I'm just going to pick a random theme here. Let's see. You'll probably want to scroll through here and test some of them to see which ones work for you. I probably have more than you have because I did purchase the whole package to see how this works. You're going to have a handful of these. So let me come back up here and pick more of a generic one. Something that you'll have. Let's try, no. Let's go to, those are page templates. Let's go to themes. I'm just going to use the Mobirise 5, and that's it. Okay. So that's the theme that we're going to be using. So the first thing that we want to do is I want to add a blank page. And there you go. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And it is just a plain old blank page. What I want to do now, though, is I probably want to go here and I want to go to sites. And I want to manage the sites. And the one that I just created, I want to rename instead of site, 224.10, I want to go ahead here and let's go to site settings. And the site name, I'm going to call it Art 196 Spring 2022. There we go. Okay. And at this, there's a number of ways that we can export the site. We can look at the history. You're able to change the favicon, which I recommend that you do. You can substitute it with your own image, and you can publish it from here if you want, but we're going to publish it slightly different way that I'll get to on another day. So we've changed that. We're going to close this. And I'm just going to close this. I don't need any more. So now we're ready to add elements to our page. So what I want to do is I want to click down here in the lower right-hand corner. And I want to add a block to my page. So similar to how we built our website in the lesson, I want to add first a menu. So let's select menus. And I'm going to look here and we have some menus along the top here. I'm going to pick this one right here and I'm going to drag it over. That's it. Then we want to select the header, maybe. Let's look at headers. And there's a whole bunch of them here that are available to us. Let's go ahead and let's pick this one right here. Why? Why not? And I drag it over. And there's our header. Then you have feature articles, features, you have articles. Let's go ahead and take this one over as a feature. And if you don't want these later on, you can always get rid of them. If you want an article, in fact, you know what? I decided that I don't want that one. So let me go back. There we go. Let me go down here. I'm going to select this one down here. And I'm going to notice that when you select it, little pop-up menu appears, and I'm just going to delete it. Okay. So I have my nav bar. I have my main introductory image. Let's go ahead and I want to add some more. So I'm going to click down here again. And this time I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add a footer maybe, or we can add the form before we do that. So let's look at forms. Here's the contact page that we can add. So let's go ahead and add a contact, or a contact element, I should say. let's go ahead and they have one for pricing. For sliders and galleries, well, I want maybe a gallery. So let's go ahead and use one of these. Now, I already have some that I have slideshows that I've already used in the past. So, but you can create some from the WoW slider, or we can use the main gallery and gallery blocks here. So let's try that. Let's just go ahead and use that. I'm going to bring it over. There we go. So here's our galleries. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this one right here. I don't want to install that, not today. So let me go back. I'm going to hide those. And I'm going to take one that I've already used. So I'm going to use, let's go back again and go to sliders. Let's pick this one here. So I'm going to take it and drag it over. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to put it up here instead. There we go. So there's my slideshow. There's my footer down here. And that's what I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the footer. Let's see what I have here. Contacts. Oh, see, I goofed. So I'm going to select one of these. I'm going to select this one. And I'm going to remove it. There we go. There. So there's my gallery. Let's go back again. And I'm going to add the contact information. And let's go back again. So we have forms. Let's go ahead and add contacts here so that it's underneath here. No, it doesn't like that. Wow. Telling you how simple this is. And it's oh, shoot. Let's go down here. So I'm going to take my thing here. Let's take that. Let's close that again. Scroll down. Let's remove that. So that was removed. So now I'm going to try and add it again. I'm going to go ahead and click again. But again, it doesn't take any work on your part to add any coding or anything. So let's try the form again. It should come down here. No, it doesn't like that. So let's take this and I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not sure why it's not working here. So I'm going to go ahead, come back. And let's go back to sliders and galleries. And well, let me go ahead. We could add a slideshow. Let's try the galleries and sliders here. This might be a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead from here, gallery and slider, and I'm just going to add this one here. Okay. And then I'm going to come back over here once again, and I'm going to go to contact information. And I'm going to go back to forms. And again, that's for contact as well. And I can add that there. Now it's working for me. And then let's go back to footers. We're going to add a footer, and it gives me all these different options for footers. So let's go ahead and just add a very simple one down here. I'll do this one. Why not? There we go. So now we can go ahead and we can close this. Okay. And we have the basic structure of our website. But now what we need to do is we need to customize it. We need to take and remove their placeholders and replace it with our own. And then they've given us a nav bar up here, but then we need to either connect it to separate pages, or if you choose to use a single page website, as I have done, then what you need to do is you will link it to different sections of the page. So how does that work? Let me show you an example. Let me go back to mine here. Gotta find it. Well, let me go back here then. I'm going to switch so that, well, in a minute, I'll show you how to do that, or maybe on another day. So what I want to do now is I want to start from the top and work my way down. So let's start with the header. And I want to start to modify it. So what I can do is here is, the block parameters. I click on that. And do I want to see the logo? If I do, you leave it, but you need to change that. So you need to insert your own, but let's say maybe I don't want to see it. So you just turn it off. The brand name, do you want to see that or not? And it gets a little sensitive sometimes. So what I want to do is the brand name. Let's go ahead and look at that. I do want to see the brand name. The menu items, I want to see those. Do you want to see the icons? If I turn that on, notice that it shows little icons here for social media. Okay, and that's in black. And if I were to close this here, you'll see it. Here's the icons here. For mine, I don't want to see them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that off. So at any time you can turn them on, turn them off. The button is over to the right. I don't want the button. I want it simple. What color do you want the hamburger? You want it to be white? You want it to be black? What color do you want the background? Well, maybe I want it to be blue. So let's go ahead and make it blue. Or we'll try this blue to kind of match what we're doing here. I'll just pick this blue. You want it collapsed? Or do you want it to be in full view? Do you want it to be transparent? And notice that it pushes the background image up so that it appears to be transparent. So they give you all these options. You can also, if I use transparent again, you can control the opacity of the color that we chose for that. So they're all just these simple little buttons here that we can work with. Toggle switches and choice for colors. And for example, for the color for the type now, what I need to do is I need to go back in here. For right now, it's fine. I'm going to click there and I want it to be kind of white. Okay, let's pick here. Light gray, maybe. So I've changed the color of that, and I can do the same for these guys. I want it to be white and a light gray. If I want this, and when you click on each of these links in your nav bar, it asks you what font you want to use for your menu. Do you want to use Title 1, Title 2, or 3, or text? Okay. If you want to insert an icon, you can do that there. And it gives you a whole list of icons from which to choose from. You can go ahead and instead of About Us, let me go ahead and then let's insert. I'm going to go ahead and click on here. And I want to add an item here. So there we go. So we're going to make this one About Us. And I can move these to the left and move them to the right. So let's go ahead and leave the About Us. And this one I'm going to highlight and make it Home, H-O-M-E. And then I'm going to click this one here. And this is going to be our portfolio. And this one is going to be contact us. There we go. So I've got that. Now, if I want home to be moved over, I'll go ahead and I click and I can do that and it moves it over. And you can keep shuffling these back and forth. So one at a time. I don't have this linked to any of these sections yet, but I can in a little while. I can also, when I click on the word Mobirise here, I can link this. Having trouble with this. When I click here, I can link this to another page or another website. I can change the text from here, change the font. I like the small text. It works well for me. But now the next step is to click, the main section down here, and let's change its properties. So I'm going to click here, and you can see that I want it full screen. Do I want it full width? If I do that, that changes that. I can also change the width of it from here. Okay, for the font size in here. And I'm going to go ahead and click in here and just say that this is going to be moving forward. Okay, title 1, it's centered, light gray. It's not a pure white. And I'm going to highlight this and say from LA to Morro Bay. Oops, Morro Bay. Okay, so let's click again, these elements. And where I have, here's my title, subtitle. Okay, maybe that's what I want instead. And I'm going to go ahead and hide the text. Buttons, I don't want to see the button. I don't need that. If you want one, you can. Let's go ahead and let's find a separate image now. And this is where you're going to have to substitute the placeholder images with your own. Now, we can use an image, we can use color, or you can bring in video. I'm going to go ahead and click here. And it will take me to some existing images that they have. If I go to the free online library, it will take me to a number of images that they provide for us that you can use. If I want to, I can browse my computer. Let's go to the site library. Now, I haven't imported any yet, but I have for my other one. But let's go ahead and just use one for just the heck of it. I would rather that you use your own. But you can see how step by step, I mean, it doesn't take really very long to build your own website in this program. And just, again, click on each of the elements and edit them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch from this site to the one that I showed you at the very beginning, which we're kind of jumping to the finish now. So this is the one that I used from before. Have my gallery, have my contact page, and I brought in my own images. When you say change the text, what do you mean? The style? Yeah, sure. If I click here, what we can do, let's see, click. Let me see here. That's title 2. You have to pick, you can, but hold on here. Let me select all of this and see. There we go. You want to pick a different font. I mean, right now I have that bold and I have this one italic. But if you want to change the style of the text, then what we might have to do is let's go to sites. And I'm going to look at the site settings from here. and edit site styles. So if I click from here, you can see that because you want it to look basically uniform throughout. So you don't want to use too many different fonts, too many different colors. So what we've done here is the primary color here is that I've set to blue. If you want the button links to look a certain color, you can do that. This is where the fonts are changed. Here's title 1, 2, 3, text and menu. And if I click here, if we can look at more fonts, this is where whichever fonts are available, you'll have at your disposal here. And then it will change all the rest of the file, the fonts in your layout. Does that make sense? When you say style, what do you mean? That's what you're talking about? Okay. And the same with the buttons. Do you want rounded buttons? Do you want ghost buttons? Do you want underline links? I don't like underline links. I think they look ugly. You can animate on scroll. Sometimes people like that. But, you know, under your basic settings for the site is where you govern what font you're going to use. And then under the individual selection here, you can specify whether you want it bold or italic. And if you want to link this to another page or website, you have limitations. Let me put it that way. The next thing that you might want to do is the way I've set this up is that this is a single page website. So every time I added one of these elements, it allows me to use these and link it to a particular section on the page. You can also, if we come back over here under pages, if you want, you can add more pages here. This by default is your home page. Okay. If you want to create a new page, you can, and then you can create a button and link it to that page. I'm not requiring that you do that. I'm allowing you, or suggesting this time maybe you just do a single page website like I have done that has multiple sections to it. And then make sure that the links do link to that. And how that works is that if I click here and I select the link, it gives you options here. Do you want to link to a different page, to a web address, to an email, a phone, a file, PayPal card? If I go to the page, then what I can do is I can specify here. Do I want it to open in a new window? Not now, no. But what I want it to do now is I want it to link to a block on the page. I want it to go to the top of the page. Okay, that's what I've selected. These are all the other forms that I have added that are below. So now when I select the about, again, I'm going to select the link. Where is that going to go? That's going to go to the next one down. It's features. When I go over that, that's this one right here, which is the, wait a minute. Where did it go? I think it's this one. It's actually a header. Okay, well, I have it set the features. Okay, never mind. So it's going there, and I don't want to change it because it's working pretty nicely. And then the portfolio, it's going to drop down to that one. Again, you select the link. And what it's going to do is just linking it to a block on that page. So this is going to the gallery. And then this one is going to the bottom, the contact page. And then if you want to test it, what we can do here is we can click on this little button. If you need to undo a step, then you can click here. If you want to redo a step, you can go there. I'm going to go ahead and preview in a browser. And it's opening up in a browser that I have here. And now watch what happens. If I click here, it doesn't do anything because it's going to the home. If I click here, it scrolls down to my about page. It's just as if I had a separate page. If I click here, it goes to the portfolio. And if I click here, it goes down to the contact. And again, if I want to go back home, it takes me back up to the top of the page. Very nice. In this one, I believe I linked to my personal website. I don't remember whether I did or I didn't. Anyway, maybe I don't have any link at all. Okay, does that give you some insight as to how to get started with Mobirise? And then when we're ready to publish it, I will show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this. I guess I can show you that today. When you're ready to publish, what we're going to do is I want you to create a folder on your computer. And that folder, just name it Mobirise maybe, so you know what it's used for. And then when you're ready to publish this, you have various options. The easiest one is to use mobirise.com. It will publish it to there, but again, you're going to have an ugly ad across the top of your website. What I would prefer that we do to practice with this is to save it first to a local drive. If you have the file transfer protocol information, you can also do that. And you would need to specify where your root folder is and where it's supposed to go. So to avoid any complications, we're going to save it to that local drive. So you want to make sure that it goes to that folder. You know, you're going to browse to go to the folder that you've created for this and put it on your desktop. And then when you're ready, you publish it. And when you publish it, it will preview it again in a browser, but it's only local. So when I'm looking here, it's the same as what I had a moment ago with preview. Okay, so when I click here and, just test it again and make sure everything works. And now what we will do is in that folder, on a separate day, I will show you that what you do is that there's basically a folder, and there's inside your folder, and there's with all of the elements of the page, and there's also an index.html. And you're going to take those two and you're going to upload them to your Infinity free account. You're going to create another separate account or another website in there, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to upload it to that. Okay, so this is this is the direction that I thought web design was going to go many years ago. Something more akin to the way we use Illustrator and Photoshop. A lot of it is, that you don't need to deal with a coding. It's, just all drag and drop and click on certain elements and decide whether you want to use them or how to edit them. And again, the more money that you pay, the more options that you have for templates and various ways to quickly create some fairly complex websites. Okie doke. So let me see here for a moment. I'm going to keep recording. That's all I had for Mobirise today. And we will come back and I will again show you how to publish it after you have created it. In the meantime, while I've been chatting about Mobirise, have any of you been able to fix your website and test it? Any luck? Okay, if it like for example, like Paula, if it looks fine on your desktop, then you're good to go. Take that link and send it to me, and hopefully it's all fixed. Okay. That's what it looks like. That's the link that you gave me. It works fine. That's it. So when we shrink it down, the only thing that isn't working is that when I go down to a small screen, this should go to 2 columns instead of remaining in 3, but that's much better than what you had before. Okay. Lots of, things to check, lots of things that can go wrong. Okay. So that's it for today. Next week, if provided everybody has all of these fixed, we're going to start on lesson 9. Or I'm sorry, 8. We're going to work with templates first. Create a template and then create child pages from that template. And we'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. If there aren't any questions, then that is it for today. I'm going to say goodbye and everybody have a good weekend. Okay. Okie doke. Bye-bye.